Being newly married, what were some things that were hard that we did not expect when we first moved in together?
Hard that we did not expect. That's a tough one. Do you have anything that comes like off the top of your head that you did not expect?
Um,
I mean, you know, I didn't have any idea what to expect. When we got married, like all I knew was that we would never have to say goodbye to each other and everything. And, you know, we were just super excited, like for the honeymoon and for, getting to start our lives together in the apartment that we had just picked out. Um,
I think things that were probably because every couple has different communication styles, especially coming from like two completely different backgrounds or whatever.
mhm,
I don't want to say completely different, but every couple comes from completely different backgrounds. That's just how it
sure.
is. And so I think like learning how to communicate where we understood what the other person was saying and what they were coming from.
Yeah.
Um, I think that sometimes that was probably pretty tough, is trying to get the other person to see each other's perspectives, because sometimes we would have like some rough times.
Mm.
Our biggest issue, which we will have to do a whole other video about, was deciding where to move. Because if you've watched our videos, I was from Alabama, Sam was from Florida, and so we had to decide where we wanted to live. And that was legitimately, I was just telling a friend the other day, like, that was the worst part of our marriage ever. That was like the hardest season because we
Mm.
would argue anytime it was brought up. Other topics we would be fine. Like, we really, and I was telling my friend this, we don't really have like disagreements compared to like how bad it was then.
Yeah,
But we just could not communicate at all.
it's really interesting because I think when we very first got married, I felt like we didn't really disagree on much of anything. I didn't feel like we really had any kind of issues. And it's actually really funny because we got married very quick to
Yeah,
the point where Sadie was really freaked out by
it's
how quick
true.
we were moving, but like I was very certain and determined, which is, kind of my personality. And so, when we were first married, we didn't really have a whole lot of stuff that I think that we really disagreed on. But then as time went on, with really big decisions, that's kind of where we end up butting heads a lot. And there's a lot of misunderstanding as far as, I think that if we both knew that the other person like didn't have like
Hmm.
bad intentions when they really want something, or they're really, trying to, not arguing, but like trying to make a point.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
there's a lot of that went on. But yeah, I mean, when we very first started, I think that it was easier than we thought, but then I think that
Once it was like time to start figuring out, like once our lease expired or when we wanted to buy a house because we had a baby on the way,
mhm.
that's when life got real.
Yeah.
And because of that, we were like writing out pros and cons list of this state versus that state. And
Oh, gonna give me Vietnam War
just,
flashbacks.
it's just
Golly.
really bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to say really bad. It was a hard
Oh, it
season,
is really
but
bad. I think we can
yeah,
call it how it was. I
yeah.
mean, there were points where, I mean, okay, we we had like in our vows. Do you know if it was me or you, or did we like make some kind of vow that like we would never like sleep separate
But we
from
didn't
each
make a
other?
vow about that,
We
but
just like always talked
which we
about it.
still never
We
have.
still never have
Yeah.
yet.
Except
But
for when you were like deathly ill and I was pregnant. I
that's
had to
true.
like,
That's true. There's an exception for that. But like there were so many times, guys, where we would be having a big argument
just fall
and
asleep.
I would want, oh, well, that's infuriating.
I
Sorry
would
for y'all's ears
say,
there. That was infuriating.
because
That
I was
was
like, okay, I'm too tired. I would just, Sam would always have trouble sleeping if we were in a disagreement. And I know the
say
Bible
it
says
did
don't
not
let the
bother
sun go
Sadie
down on your
at
anger.
all.
Um, But I couldn't help it.
She
I
couldn't
hate a
help
brick
but let
wall
the
in that
sun go
tent.
down. And then when she'd wake up, everything would be fine, which would just make me
But then
so
I'd be able to
mad.
talk about it, say it's just different
It would just make me
personalities,
so
man.
mad, though. Yeah, I'll never forget. This is off topic of like our marriage thing, but I'll never forget. We were at a friend's house, and we ended up leaving their house with in a pretty big argument about something because I was like, my feelings were really hurt about
Which
something.
time was that? The first time you visited?
Might have been the
That's
second.
when you sang
I know.
Amazing Grace. Okay, y'all, we were
Oh
talking
my
about the last
goodness.
video, the last podcast episode. We were talking about how I get embarrassed. Okay, I
Yeah.
do. I admit it. Well, then Sam was meeting like my best friend and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
He breaks out into
They told
song.
me to sing. They told me to
Yes.
sing, and so of course I
Sam
was gonna
breaks out
sing.
into singing Amazing Grace, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful hymn. Okay.
It
I
was not the
flee.
song's fault.
I flee. I got so embarrassed. I just can't help but run away in these situations. And then Sam was like so hurt that I betrayed him, but I was like, I am so
No. So
embarrassed.
that's only half of it. So
That's my
not only did
whole
she
story.
run away, but she was like completely like silent like the whole trip
I
home.
was
She was
so
so like, were you mad at me or
no,
like
I just feel embarrassment like to my
to the
bones.
point where you like she legit like did not say a word on the drive
I think
home?
you did. I don't recall anything after you started singing Amazing Grace.
No, and so then we like get home and I'm like telling her about like how bad that hurt that she just like completely ran away or whatever. And like in the middle of me trying to tell her like how hurt I was, she just like falls asleep.
I don't remember any of that. I'm sorry about all that.
Oh
But
my
singing
goodness.
Amazing Grace made me so
We
shy.
better hope that we don't ever get in a situation where like there's a fire or something and we like have to evacuate because Sadie will just totally fall asleep.
Oh my goodness,
If
there's
it's too late at night,
yes,
she will
absolutely.
fall asleep.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
That's how you know you can't blame me. It's just my body.
Yeah, I don't know what is that like a condition or something
Probably.
or that's
Probably.
crazy. It
But
just it feels like every time there's any kind of I don't know if it's conflict or what it is, but there are certain triggers that make you get really sleepy really suddenly. So if you're ever having trouble
that's
with
just
going
my
to
fight or
sleep,
flight.
and
You
it's not
do
like,
something and I just
it's not like arguments where like we're yelling at each other,
oh
but
no.
it's like if we're just like having like a discussion, I think she just gets really bored of me really quickly or
That's
something.
not true. I just get really, really tired. Like it just comes upon me, especially now. But
Yeah, I just know that I have to keep it
definite.
really short and to the point, or
Yeah,
else I'll lose my audience. Like literally, my audience will fall
legit.
asleep. What were we
But that's where
talking
we're
about?
at. That's
What
where we're
were we
at.
talking about?
Some harder things that we did not expect when we moved in together. Yeah, I
See,
think we
I
answered the
expected that.
question.
I expected that
Me to
that
fall
you would
asleep.
still be falling asleep when we
It's
were having
true.
discussions.
It's true.
So yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we answered those three questions. We got to figure out what to do for next week. But after next week, I mean, it might be like the
maybe
next
baby
video
time.
where we'll be like introducing y'all to the baby or whatever we're doing with that. But yeah, just that's today's video. Keep us in your prayers with the baby. We have a lot of anxiety,
Mm,
a lot of fear. Um, so yeah, if y'all could just keep us in your prayers because we are pretty stressed
yeah,
all the time right now and we just want to go ahead and deliver him.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, any other comments before we call her a day?
I don't think so. You said something about like introducing a baby though. We do have, one baby that we
We
could.
do have a little Smurf.
Murphy, hey, come here, buddy.
Come here,
Come here. You want to
Smurf.
say hello to the people since it's been so long? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here.
This is baby.
Hi.
This is
Hi,
baby
buddy.
Smurf.
Hi, buddy.
His name is Murphy.
His name is Murphy.
He is our son. We adore him so much. And everybody that meets him loves him.